Okay, this is another update on my Farmall F-20 project. What you see here, the rear end, the chassis, and these few selected parts up here, that's basically what I have left to clean up. There's a few little ones, but this is basically the major ones. I've got to do that radiator support, and there's a tunnel cover, and a belt pulley, and a crank, and cylinder sleeves I need to hone out, and there's a slight ridge on a couple of them, so I'll have to do that. And here's manifold that a friend of mine went down to Missouri and he came back with. He knew I needed one, and he got this one for free, so he passed it along to me. I've got to do a little bit of work on it, but it ought to fix up real nice. And it's just a plain gas manifold. As you can see, this one down here, this is the original manifold, and there's a crack. There you can see it pretty good. And it's fixable, but it is a kerosene manifold, so it's the other one will work better. I just want to run strictly gas. And here's the radiator top and bottom mounts. These studs were rusted and broken off, and we had to use a torch and heat them up real good so we get the rust to break, and we fought them a little bit and got them out. Now I've got to cut these bolts down and make studs to replace them. And the same over here, these four, same thing, we had to pull them out. And this hole here is where a pipe goes to drain the radiator, and it had a piece of pipe broken off in it, and we had to use the torch to get it out and then chase the threads with a tap. And there were 5 or 6 bolts around here that were also broken off. We had to heat up and get out, and we had to chase all the threads, so everything's all ready to go as soon as I get this sandblasted, and then I can sand it a little bit and primer it and paint it. But it's ready to go now. And these pistons, they were extremely cruddy down in the grooves, and I didn't have a ring groove tool. I was just using a broken ring, but it was just too hard for that. A friend of mine happened to buy a groove tool off of eBay at the same time that we needed one, and he brought that over this morning and cleaned up all 4 of the pistons. And I've already got the rods and the wrist pins ready to go, so now I can put them back together. And the block I took into town this afternoon to the car wash and blasted it off with the high pressure. It wasn't real bad, but it needed some of the old mud and crud blasted off of it, and the inside, it needed some of the loose stuff taken care of. But it's ready to go now. I've still got some water in there I want to get rid of so it doesn't start rusting here on me. I'll blow it out with some air, and I've got to take a wire brush and clean off some of the loose scale here so it looks a little better when I paint it. But it's ready to start putting things back together. And I know for my birthday, a friend of mine got me an upper gasket set, the valve grind set, so I can do a little bit here, and I've got a lot of the other parts ready to go back in. So it's getting to that point where I'm going to be wishing for warmer weather.